Marsanes, Exordium, the steadfastness and confidence of the recipients of the revelation. Material and a power. They found him with a pure heart, without their being afflicted by evils. Those who have received you will be given a choice reward for their endurance, and they will endure the evils. But let none of us be distressed and think in his heart that the Supreme Father is aloft. For he looks upon the all and takes care of them all. And he has shown them his command, since it is they who speak. Marsane's vision of the nature, structure, and deployment of the all. The things I said at first. The 13 seals. Word of confirmation. But as for the 13th seal, I have confirmed it together with the limit of knowledge and the certainty of rest. Seals 1 through 3. The worldly, corporeal, and material levels. The first and the second and the third are for the worldly and the material realms. I have informed you about these, that you should guard your bodies, and a perceptible power will conceal those who will be at rest, and they will be kept from the passions and divisions of the union. Seals 4 through 5. The incorporeal sojourn and repentance. The fourth and the fifth above it are the ones you have come to know as divine. The fourth concerns what exists above the corporeal type and nature that is divided in three. You were informed about these and the three-dimensional realm by these two. You were told that it is incorporeal, and after, within, every, which, and the things within them. Seal 5. Repentance. The fifth concerns the repentance of those within it and those who sojourn in that place. Seal 6. The self-generated ones. The sixth concerns the self-generated ones, the incorporeal being that exists individually, together with those who abide in the truth of the all, with understanding and stability. Seal 7. Autogenes, the self-generated one. The seventh concerns the self-generated power, the third perfect mind, the second one who extended to the fourth for salvation through Sophia. Seal 8. Protophanes, the first appearing one. The eighth concerns the masculine mind that appeared in the beginning, as well as incorporeal substance and the intelligible world. Seal 9. Calyptos, the hidden one. The ninth concerns the name of the power that appeared in the beginning. Seal 10. The aeon of Barbello. The 10th concerns barbello, the virgin who is male, that is, the aeon. Seals 11 through 12, the triple powered one and the invisible spirit. The 11th and the 12th speaks of the invisible one who possesses three powers, and the insubstantial spirit who belongs to the first ungenerated one. Seal 13, the unknown silent one. The 13th speaks concerning the unknown silent one, even the foundation of the indistinguishable one. Marsanes' insight into the nature of incorporeal and corporeal reality. For it is I who have contemplated that which truly exists, whether individually or as a whole. By discrimination, I knew that they pre-exist in the entire place, that is eternal, namely, all those that have come into existence, whether with or without substance, those who are unbegotten, and the divine aeons, together with the angels and the souls without guile, and the soul garments, the images of the simple ones. And afterward they were mixed with those that were distinct from them. But even the entire perceptible substance still resembles the substance that is intelligible and insubstantial. I have known the entire corruption of the former, as well as the immortality of the latter. I have discriminated and have attained the boundary between the partial, sense perceptible world and the entire realm of the incorporeal essence. And the intelligible world knew by discrimination that in every respect the sense perceptible world is worthy of being preserved entire. For I have not ceased speaking of autogenes, lest anyone be ignorant in turn of the entire place. The saving descent of autogenes, the self-generated one. He descended, again, he descended from the unbegotten one, who is insubstantial, who is the Spirit, the one who exists before them all, extends to the divine self-generated ones. The one who is substantial examines the all, and is the all, and resembles the all. And from the single one, they are divided, so that I experienced many things, it being clear that he saved a multitude. Marsanes inquires about the aeonic realm of the triple powered one. But beyond all of these, I am seeking the kingdom of the triple powered one, which has no beginning. Whence did he appear and act to fill the entire place with his power? In what way did the ungenerated one come into existence without being generated? What are the differences among the aeons? And how many ungenerated ones are there? In what respect do they differ from each other? The triple powered one actualizes the silence of the unknown silent one. When I had inquired about these things, I perceived that he acted from silence. He exists prior to those that truly exist, that belong to the realm of being. He is a pre-existent otherness belonging to the one that actualizes the silent one. And the silence of the one who follows him acts. For so long as the latter acts, the former acts also. The silence that belongs to the unbegotten one is among the aeons, and from the beginning he is insubstantial. But the activity of that one is the triple powered one. The unbegotten one is prior to the aeon, since he is insubstantial. Now, as for the summit of the silent one's silence, it is possible for the summit of the triple powered one's activity to behold it. And the one who exists, who is silent, who is beyond insubstantiality, manifested the triple powered first perfect one. The self-manifestation of the triple powered one. When he appeared to the powers, they rejoiced. Those that are within me were completed together with all the rest, and one by one they all blessed the triple power one, who is the first perfect one, blessing him in purity, everywhere praising the Lord who exists before the all, who is the triple powered one. It did not happen that their laudations were audible, but it was my part to keep on inquiring how they had become silent. I would contemplate a power that I hold in honor. The barbello aeon reveals itself as the triple powered one's third power. When the third power of the triple powered one contemplated him, it said to me, "Be silent, lest you should know and flee and come before me. But know that this one was silent, and concentrate on understanding. For the power still keeps guiding me into the aeon that is barbello, the male virgin." Marsanes explains the barbello aeon's deployment from the invisible spirit. For this reason, the virgin became male, because she had separated from the male. The knowledge stood outside of him, as if belonging to him. And she who exists is she who sought. She is situated just as the triple power one is situated. She withdrew from these two powers, since she exists outside of the great one, seeing what is above her, the perfect one who is silent, who has this commandment to be silent. His knowledge and his existence and his activity are those things that the power of the triple powered one expressed. The barbello aeon describes the praise of the triple power one. We all have withdrawn to ourselves. We have become silent. And when we too came to know that he is the triple power one, we bowed down. We glorified and blessed him. He conferred upon us a great revelation. Again, the invisible spirit hastened to his place. The entire place was revealed. The entire place unfolded until he reached the upper region. Again, he went forth and caused the entire place to be illuminated, and the entire place was illuminated. Marsanes receives the power of the barbello aeon. And I was given the third part of the spirit of the power of the triple power one. Blessed is the aeon, it said. Through Marsanes, the barbello aeon urges the ascent toward the invisible spirit. O inhabitants of these places, it is necessary for you to contemplate those that are higher than these, and tell them to the powers. For you will become better than the elect in the last times. Upward mounts the invisible spirit, and you yourselves ascend upward with him, since you have the great radiant crown. But on that day, you will see as you hasten to ascend above with him, and even the sense perceptible things that are visible to you, and they, the intellection. He exists eternally without substance in the one who is silent, the one who is from the beginning, who is without substance, part of, indivisible. Consider A. Ninth. 4. Marsanes' ascent to the triple powered one. I was dwelling among the aeons that were generated. As I was permitted, I came to be among those that were unbegotten. But I was dwelling in the great aeon, although I was separate from it. And I saw the three powers of the triple power one. The first power, and the silent one and the triple power one, and the one that does not have breath. We took our stand. We contemplated. We entered breath. The spirit that does not have breath, and he exists in unknowability. Marsane sees the supreme deity. And through him, I saw the great unknowable power, the one without limit. And I saw the one who exists alone, is active. And why is there no knowledge among the ignorant? And he runs the risk that he become. And on account of, in, those that are dissimilar. But it is necessary that everyone who is without image be like those of the single one that exists before them all. The thought that pre-exists, the one that. Now, these are the images that I saw in 9 cosmic hebdomads that are in a single eternal day. 30. Herself. The need to know the nomenclature of the cosmic powers and of the soul. And again, after many years, as for me, when I saw the Father, I came to know him, and many, partial, forever, the material ones, worldly, above, in addition, a deity, from the things that them into, name them according to their nomenclature, and let no one think that you are inferior to their knowledge and their reality. And in addition, so that hidden, the third power, the blessed authorities' instructions on preparing the soul. And the blessed authority said to me, among these may she who does not have it receive no glory. For there is no glory, nor even the one who. For indeed the one without glory is a 4. The configurations and powers of the zodiacal signs. And the zodiacal signs and the and which do not have acquire for revolution and soul, this, namely the celestial ones, surrounds, configuration, which is spiritual, and those that have likeness, those who, the form, all the images of which I spoke, it is necessary that all the forms become configurations, so that a form may be assigned to the elements themselves, including the smooth and the rough, like the voices of animals, and there. But their powers, which are the angels, are in the form of beasts and animals. Some among them are polymorphous and contrary to nature. They have sounds adapted to their names. That is, they are distinct and different in appearance, and they are biformed. But these that are homophonic by a third originate from substance. And concerning these, all of these remarks are sufficient, since we have already spoken about them. For this distribution takes place also in these regions, in the manner we have mentioned from the beginning. The alphabet and the configurations of the soul. The soul and its configuration. However, the soul too has its configuration, although it is diverse. It is in its form that the configuration of the only begotten soul resides. Vowels and diphthongs, the first and second configurations of the soul. Its configuration is the second spherical part, E, I, O, U, while the first goes around it, the self-begotten soul, A, E, I, O, U, O. The second configuration, E, A, I, O, U, derives from those having two sounds. The first that suffixes them is the upsilon, and the iota is its companion. And these are the ones you know in the radiance of the light. Control yourselves. Receive the imperishable seed. Bear fruit. And do not be attached to your possessions. Tones and accents. But know that the long vowels exist among the vowels and the diphthongs beside them. But the short are deficient as well as the other sounds that originate through them. And those that are drawn are intermediate. Consonants and their combinations. Among the consonants, the semivowels are superior to the voiceless, and those that are double are superior to the changeless semivowels. And the aspirates are better than the inaspirates of the mute consonants. As for those that are intermediate, their combinations are many. They are ignorant of the good combinations and are combined with the worse ones in the middle. As in the case of the nomenclature for the gods and the angels, it is not that the consonants are combined with each other indiscriminately, but only that they are combined so as to have a beneficial effect. It just didn't happen that their intent was apparent. Don't sin anymore, and don't dare to have anything to do with sin. Now, I speak to you concerning the three configurations of the form of the soul. Vowels and the second and third configurations of the soul. The third configuration of the soul is a sphere, and a spherical one goes around it. From the simple vowels A, E, E, I, O, U, O. The diphthongs were as follows: AI, EU, EI, EU, EU, O, OI, EI, UI, OI, EU, EI, EU, EU, OI, OU, G, 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 D, G, G, AI, AU, EI, EU, EU, OI, OU, OU, G, 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 AU, EIU, OIO, EU. 3 times for a male soul. The third configuration is spherical. The second configuration, since it goes around it, has 2 sounds. The male's soul third configuration consists of the simple vowels A, E, E, I, O, U, O, O, O. And this configuration is distinct from the first, but they resemble each other, and they make some easy sounds of this sort. A-O. And from these are made the diphthongs. Vowel combinations and the fourth and fifth configurations of the soul. So also the fourth and the fifth, with regard to them. Not everything was allowed to be revealed, but only those things that are obvious. You were taught about them, that you should contemplate them in order that they too might seek and find what they all are, either through themselves alone or through one another, or seek to reveal limits set from the beginning, either with reference to themselves alone or with reference to one another. Just as the letters coexist with each other in speech, whether individually or by similarity, they are prefixed or they are suffixed. Either their part is derivative and similar, whether through the long vowels or through those of dual time value, or through the short vowels, which are short, or the oxytones, or the intermediate tones, or the baritones. Consonant vowel combinations, syllables. And sometimes consonants exist with the vowels, and by turns they are prepended and appended. They constitute a nomenclature for the angels, and sometimes the consonants are independent and diverse. They are prefixed and are suffixed to the hidden gods. By means of beat and pitch and silence and attack, they summon the semi-vowels, all of which are subject to a single sound, just as it is only the unchanging consonants and the double consonants that exist among the semi-vowels, the aspirates, the inaspirates, and the intermediates constitute the voiceless consonants. Contrary to nature, the consonants and vowels are combined with one another, and they are separate from one another. They are prepended and appended, and they constitute an ignorant nomenclature. And the resulting syllables become one or two or three or four or five or six, up to seven, having a simple sound. These that have two sounds are grouped with the 17 consonants. Among the previously named, some are deficient, and they are as if they had no substance, or as if they were an image of substance, or as if they separate the good nature from the evil one in the middle. And you will assemble the patterns that resemble each other, the vowels together with the consonants. Some examples are Bagad Azata, Baged Izethe, Bagid Dizith, Begade Ziti, Bogo Zoto, Bugu Du Zutu, Bogodotho, and the rest. And some are Ba Bi 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 Bo Bo Bo, but the rest are different. Abe Bi Babab, in order that you might assemble them and become separate from the angels. And certain effects will follow. Arithmology. A good point of departure is from the triad, and it extends to that which has need of the one that confined it in a shape. The dyad and the monad do not resemble anything. Rather, they are principles. The dyad constitutes a division of the monad, and it belongs to the hypostasis. But the tetrad received the elements, and the pentad received concord, and the hexad was perfected by itself, and the hebdomad received beauty, and the ogdode attuned its constituents to harmony, and the Aeneid is honored much more, and the decad revealed the entire place. But the hendecad and the dodecad had passed over into the boundless, and it is higher than the hebdomad, which is bounded. Syllables and nouns. Nouns promise that the articulation marks begin to separate them by means of a sign and a point. The uninflected one and the inflected one. So also are the images of being. They derive from a joining of the letters in a holy union, according to a juxtaposition where they exist independently. And they exist with each other by generation or by kinship. And according to their own generation, they do not have these. They have 1. Speaking the riddle. Just as in the sense perceptible world, there exists the temple, which measures 700 cubits, and a river, which within an eternity. They 3. To the 4. Seals, clouds and the waters, and the forms of the wax images, and some emerald images. For the rest, I would teach you about them. This is the generation of the names, that which was not generated from the beginning. With regard to stand, however, 3 times, when closed, when lengthened, when short. Words. But there exists a quiet discourse, and there exists another discourse related to free association, by speaking of that which is invisible, and it manifests the difference between the same and the different, and between the whole and a part of an indivisible substance. And that power has a share in the joy, in both discord and unity, of the honor, whether body. It is possible to know that the things that exist everywhere are honored always, since they dwell both with the corporeal and the incorporeal ones. This is the discourse of the hypostasis that one should know in this way. If they do not speak with one another, how then does the discourse help those who are troubled with the discourse about that which is visible? Therefore, if one knows it, one will speak it. But there are words, some of which are dual, and others that exist separately, the ones that pertain to substance, and they, or those which, according to those that endure, or according to those that have time. And these are either separated or joined with one another or with themselves, whether the diphthongs or the simple vowels, or every or exists just as exist the consonants. They exist individually until they are divided and joined. Now, Some are able to generate the consonant letters by letter. Difference, become, substance. They will count once or twice and thrice for the vowels, and twice for the consonants, and once for the entire ensemble, and unpredictably for those subject to change, as well as those that originate from them, and everything thereafter. And they are all the names at once. They were hidden, but they were pronounced openly. They did not stop being revealed, nor did they stop naming the angels. The vowels are joined with the consonants, whether externally or internally, by means of, they said, teach you. Again, in this way, they were counted 4 times, and they were engendered 3 times, and they became 12-fold. Being worthy of and safeguarding the revelation. For these reasons, we have acquired sufficiency. For it is fitting that each one acquire power for himself, that he may bear fruit, and that we never heap scorn on the mysteries. The 4, which is soul, the signs of the zodiac, a new hypostasis, and the reward that will be provided for such a one is salvation. But the opposite will happen there to the one who commits sin. Only the one who commits sin will be NA of the remainder, these. Ponder them, so that even before you examine what one might convey to another, you may receive exalted power and divine knowledge and an ability that cannot be resisted. But you shall examine who is worthy that he should reveal them, knowing that they will, down to the who sin. Therefore, that which is fitting, do not desire to empower the sense perceptible world by not attending to me, the one who has received the salvation that comes from the intelligible world. But as for these discourses, beware your divulging them to anyone, lest he succeed in understanding them and take them away. And as for the remainder, I will speak to them on the completion of my discourse, lest the sinful person divulge them to others. They did not understand them, namely the embodied souls upon the earth, as well as those outside of the body, who are in heaven, more numerous than the angels. The topic that we discussed in every discourse, these stars say, whether already into those who, whether he observes the 2, or observes the 7 planets, or the 12 signs of the zodiac, or the 36 deacons, which are the 12 zones that total 360 lots, to the Loki in association with these numbers, whether those in heaven or those upon the earth, and those that are under the earth, according to the sympathies and the divisions deriving from these, and from the remaining 360 degrees, according to kind and according to species. Further discussion in severely damaged text. Marsanes' concluding vision and concerning the destiny of souls. The vision of Marsanes. The voice of names and forever names. Now, when I became silent, I said, "Tell me, what is the power will wash entire generation?" Marsanes' response. For your daughters, for just as the kingdom of the triple power one. But this one, don't. Speak on the basis of what you don't know. And for it is that you, the one whose you did not know. Marsanes' apocalyptic vision of the fearsome angels. And I said, for the in the remainder down against the earth. And they spoke like the angels, and one was like the wild beast. And he said, forever, beast, beast, from of my soul, I saw a standing, and his image was fearsome, and his face was I, because I saw all of the lights around me blazing with fire, and I looked at myself in their midst, angels attending me. Gammalayo comes to Marsanes' aid. And the one, Gammalayo, the one who presides over those spirits, the great angels who are those that receive all of them, with their Gammalayo's revelation. And he guided me down, and he bore me, her members, the invisible judgment, throne, every, who is placed, ever-flowing fountain of the living water, the two, silent, gods, cleansed it from, the one whom they sealed has been adorned with the celestial seal, to his great. Marsanes' vision of the judgment of souls and the title. And I saw, unmixed, those who they will become of God, a woman, while she is in travail, after she begot, all of them, thing, humans, and women and men of this sort. It is others that are upon the earth. Know that they, every, them, on these, together with the homeborn, for these will be able to know God, aeons, with those who will, who have God, from the beginning, in the awful fear, names, mysteries, in God, manifest, those who will know. Marsanes.